WVSGM, GM. WVSG 820 AM St. Gabriel Radio is an American radio station licensed to Columbus, Ohio and serving the Columbus metro area. It airs local Catholic programming in addition to Utah Global Catholic Radio. Its programs are simulcast over WSGR 88.3 FM in New Boston, Ohio. WVSG broadcasts with 5,000 watts during the daytime and 790 watts at night from a transmitter site located near Upper Arlington and Grove City. A single non-directional tower is used during the day, offering secondary coverage to almost half of Ohio, as far west as Dayton and the outer suburbs of Cincinnati, and as far north as the outer suburbs of Toledo. At night, 6 towers are used in a directional pattern to protect the signal of the frequency's Clear Channel station, WBAP in Fort Worth, Texas, concentrating the signal around the Columbus area. History. Wvsg. The station was originally licensed to Ohio State University, which reported that it was the oldest radio station in Columbus. On March 23, 1920, the university was granted an experimental license with the call sign 8 Roman 11, which made a debut broadcast featuring a speech by President Dr. William Oxley Thompson on April 20, 1920. In the fall of 1921, 8 Roman 11's license was deleted, and the university was issued a technical and training school station license with the call sign 8YO. Effective December 1, 1921, the Department of Commerce, which regulated radio at this time, adopted regulations requiring that stations making broadcasts intended for the general public. On June 3, 1922, the university was issued its first broadcasting station license, with the call letters WIO. This call sign was randomly assigned from an alphabetical roster of available call letters, and a later tradition suggested that the call letters stood for Willing Energetic Athletic Ohio. In 1933, the call letters were changed to WASU. For much of the 1960s and 70s, WASU's programming was mostly locally originated, featuring diverse music programs from classical and jazz, and later included the seasonal Metropolitan Opera radio broadcasts on Saturday afternoons, moderated by its long. The station participated with the gradual evolution of national public radio NPR. It also broadcast live remotes from the Ohio State Fair. By the year 2000, WASU primarily aired NPR news and talk programming, supplemented by programs from American Public Media and Public Radio International. It was also home to the Ohio State ice hockey and women's basketball broadcasts. On weekend evenings, the station featured 12 hours of bluegrass music on a program called the Bluegrass Ramble, hosted by a group of 3 rotating announcers. In addition to its sports and news coverage, the station produced an award-winning talk show, Open Line, with host Fred Andel, who retired in May 2009 after 25 years in radio. In September 2009, Andel's program was replaced by All Sides with Ann Fisher, hosted by former Columbus Dispatch reporter and columnist Ann Fisher, who came to WASU with 20 years of journalism experience. Ohio State eventually decided to concentrate its radio broadcasting efforts on the FM band. In 2010, the university purchased station WWCD at 101.1 FM, changing its call letters to WOSA and transferring the classical music format on WASU FM at 89.7 FM over to WOSA. WASU FM then began simulcasting WASU's NPR news/talk format, with the FM signal branded as the main station under the moniker 89.7 FM NPR News. The university also announced that it was putting WASU M820 up for sale. In September 2011, it was announced that WASU had been purchased, pending Federal Communications Commission FCC approval, by St. Gabriel Radio for $2 million. The sale and transfer of license was approved by the FCC on November 7, 2011. No formal announcement of farewell or final goodbye to listeners was made prior to the final shutdown of WASU. The station ended its regular NPR and local news broadcasts at 5 p.m. on December 9, 2011, after which it aired a continuous announcement loop by station and NPR staffers that informed listeners that its news and talk format would continue on Wvsg FM. The announcements continued until 9:00 a.m. on December 14, when the signal was abruptly shut down in the middle of the sentence "I'm Mandy Trimble, W," ending before the full Wvsg call sign was spoken. WVSG. The call letters were changed to WVSG on December 15 and the station returned. The station made its official debut at 6 p.m. on December 20. The introduction of WVSG was part of a series of station acquisitions and decquisitions by St. Gabriel Radio, Inc., in its work to provide Catholic programming for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Columbus. Named for the Archangel Gabriel, the patron saint of communication workers, St. Gabriel Radio initially purchased WUCO 1270 KHC, now WDLR, in Marysville in 2005 from Frontier Burr, which resulted in WUCO becoming the first full-time Catholic radio station licensed in Ohio since Cleveland's WME, now WCC. After this purchase, WUCO's studios and offices were moved from Marysville to Columbus, the diocese's hub, thus increasing its volunteer and listener base. In 2007, St. Gabriel Radio began simulcasting WUCO's Catholic programming over WVKO 1580 AM under a lease agreement with station owner Bernard, Ohio LLC. WVKO's superior signal provided better coverage of the Columbus region than WUCO's less powerful directional signal. WVKO had previously aired a liberal progressive talk format, and the initial plan was that St. Gabriel Radio would eventually purchase the station. WUCO was sold in January 2010 to ICS Communications, and after Ohio State University announced that Wvsg was for sale, St. Gabriel Radio decided it would purchase that station instead of WVKO. A fundraiser, Leave a Legacy, focused on raising funds for the purchase. The transition of St. Gabriel programming from 1580 to 820 AM took place at 6 p.m. on December 20, 2011 during the broadcast of the local Spotlight show, which began that evening on WVKO and concluded on WVSG. WVKO, now WWCD, then began airing continuing announcements informing St. Gabriel listeners to switch to AM 820 until it returned to a progressive talk format at 6 a.m. on January 2, 2012. St. Gabriel Radio also owned and operated WFOT 89.5 MHz, licensed to Lexington and serving the Mansfield area as a near simulcast of the AM station. WFOT made its on-air debut in February 2007. WFOT now broadcasts the programming of Annunciation Radio originated by WNOC based in Toledo. St. Gabriel Radio's mission is to reach the entire Columbus Diocese, and WVSG almost accomplishes this during the daytime hours, with the exception of the far southern region around Portsmouth. In January 2019, the southern coverage was improved by establishing a simulcast over WSGR 88.3 FM in New Boston.